Boom! Hello and welcome to the Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast, Season 4.
With your host, Byron Rodgers. This podcast is dedicated to the executive protection practitioner, the private security professional. In this podcast, we're going to talk about the mental, emotional, psychological, physiological fitness that goes into being an efficient and effective executive protection agent. Whether you're in law enforcement, whether you're a mom that's looking at how to protect her children, or a father that's focused on how to protect his family, I believe this podcast has something for all of you. We might even get into some tales from the crypts of true Hollywood stories from time to time. I'm doing this podcast because I feel the reality of this job is simple. If you really want to be good at executive protection, it's more than just a job. It really is a lifestyle. And those of you who've been in the game for any serious amount of time, you already know what I'm saying is true. So if that sounds interesting to you, enjoy the show. Out.
Boom! Here we go. This is an episode of the Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast. I got Vincent Levy here, fellow protector who most of you are going to know about here real soon. He's coming up in the game. It's an honor that we're connected. He went through my course. We're going to talk about that. And like you guys already know, I like to interview dudes that are breaking into this industry because so many of you who are listening are breaking into this industry, are looking to move around in this industry. So this is where you guys get some of the cheat codes on what's going down, different areas of the industry, how my man's doing what he's doing. And also you might hear a little bit about some of the tools that we offer that help my man on his journey in this game, man.
No doubt.
Thanks, man. It's an honor, bro. I love doing it. How you holding up?
Dude, it's crazy. So I was thinking about us having this call tonight, and this room that I'm in, this is my little cigar room, right, where I come down. So the video I shot for you, I did in here, but what's crazy is this is where I first was introduced to you.
Wow.
So my wife's good friend, right? Yeah. Her good friend, best friend, is dating a guy who's from the Caribbean, Bahama boy.
Yeah, like me.
And he came over and we were hanging out like a year ago, smoking cigars, getting to know each other, you know, talking about the pew pew life. And he was like, "Hey man, you ever heard of Byron Rodgers?" It's like, "No." He's like, "Oh dude, I listened to his podcast. You need to check him out." I was like, he's like, "Yeah, he's from Bahamas like me, but he's cool. He's from the Caribbean. He's cool." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So at that point I had just transitioned from law enforcement. Yeah. And I was commuting, you know, an hour and 15. So for an hour and 15 there, hour and 15 back, wow. It was you and me.
Wow.
And I was just gobbling up these podcasts. And I was like, man, I like this dude. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I heard, I guess it would be an ad, I guess, where you were talking about your school. Because before it was just, I liked what you said about making good people dangerous. I was like, I like that.
That's my
I like that. That's what hooked me. It was making good people, you know, I was like, okay, I like that. Yeah. Yes. So, but I heard you talk about your school and I was like, oh man, EP stuff. Okay. So then I started looking at those videos.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? I can do that.
I can do. That's exactly what I want. That's what I want. The thought of, you know what? I can do this. That is the thought. That's the beginning, man. That's the seed, like sprouting right there.
Yeah.
That's where it all starts, man. I love that.
So I started looking at your stuff and then looked at, you know, my background and, you know, we'll talk about, I guess, how much, because it's really interesting with my law enforcement background. I was heavy on the soft skills. Not that the hard skills were lacking, but you know, like everybody, I became a cop, so I went to SWAT school because that's what you want to do. You know, you want to get your wings. So I was like, SWAT school. Yeah, exactly. You know, you want to do that. But a guy that I was working with was a translator and he was a negotiator for the Guard. And he spent a lot of time in Iraq. And he was like, just this backwoods country guy that you'd never expect. And he turned me on to proxemics and human behavior and micro expressions and interview interrogation.
And like, high level stuff.
I was like, chess and checkers. I was like, anybody can kick a door in, no disrespect. Anybody can kick a door, but can you talk to somebody? That's what intrigued me. I was like, wow. So dove into that and just became my world. And, maybe another time, another place, I'll tell you the entire story, but that was my path in law enforcement. So I was a crisis negotiator, crisis intervention trainer, as well as officer.
Wow.
When I left the department, I was the commander of the negotiating team, verbal de-escalation. Yeah. So that my wheelhouse is communication. And so that was easy for me. I was like, oh man, reading people. I was like, I can do this.
Yeah.
Looking the part. Oh, so, I talked to my wife and told her about it, and she was, go for it.
Yeah. Boom.
Do it. So I said to myself that if I did it, I'm doing everything that this person said. Literally, I'm not, because my hang up has been, I've been gifted certain areas, so I've never really had to work too hard. So I've always been able to kind of sit and look at something. And even though you may say do ABC, I'm sitting back going, yeah, but if I do A, rather than listening to you,
throw like a J in there, and then I can skip B, and I can make up for it on this side. Yeah, man.
Exactly. Hard-headed. But I said I was going to do that, and that's literally what I did. I went through your course. Devoured it on the way there. Every moment you were in my ear. When it came to the gear section, every single piece, like literally every single piece of gear that you said, get, I got. Literally. And then I grabbed some other pieces that I thought were okay, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
So followed that. And with the tools that I got from your course, I had the confidence that it was like, I'm already doing this. It's just, I'm just waiting for my opportunity, because I felt that confident with what you gave me through your course. Because I recognized, and I've always wanted to tell you this, in the beginning, I did not like your teaching technique, because I'm a teacher.
Yeah. So you were like looking at me like, this guy.
I was sitting back going, man, come on.
Yeah.
But then I listened, and then I realized the type of information in this environment, it has to be presented that way. That's the best way that you can't do your typical, death by PowerPoint, because it's a conversation, it's flowing. And I can tell you, and people that are watching, I called you one day because I had been in conversations, and I told you where I had heard verbatim things that you said in class. Verbatim. And I just laughed to myself. I'm like, and when I get it, it's like the old man walking up to you going, come here, man, let me put your phone game. You want to be here for a minute? Listen.
What's going to happen?
And that's literally what your course did. So I was able to go back, and reflect. And there's a saying, I don't remember who said it, but it said he didn't believe in luck, but what he believed is when preparation meets opportunity.
Proper planning,
right? Yeah. And that's what I did. Prepared, gobbled up your information, and then your other contacts, not contacts, but your other people that are big in the game that are out there with content. I invested in them. Went through some of their courses, from your master's class. I was like, okay, advanced work. Okay, let me really dig down into that.
Just give me. And you're just getting stronger and smarter and more tools, more moves, more combos.
That's it.
It's the way, guys. Success leads to moves, man.
And literally, this is what happened. I regurgitate what you say. Your network is connected to your network. 100%. And I'm horrible at that. I'm great at meeting people, but I'm bad. I was bad at networking. So I was like, nope. So I just kept reaching out to people. And a good friend of mine is in the military. We talk all the time, had mentioned that he had a buddy that did some EP work, had a company. So I hit him up again, and he came over to help me move. And I hit him up again, and he was like, oh, you know what? I just talked to that guy.
Funny
you should mention that. He's like, you know what? I'm going to do XYZ, ABC with him. Oh, dang. Yeah, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. Well, hey, man, if he ever needs, hey, you know what? Let me get his email and see if it's cool. All right, no worries. I get his email address. He goes, yeah, he said whenever you get a chance, shoot him your stuff.
Yep.
Byron, I sent him my stuff. It was like 8:15 p.m. Right?
Mm-hmm.
8:25. I get a text message that says, I just saw your stuff.
Yep.
Saw your resume, saw your packet. One question. Have you ever been on tour before? I'm looking at I'm like, no, but I know I can handle it. I'm confident that I understand what it entails. Like, yeah. All right, give me a minute.
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes later, I get a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Back and forth, explains the situation. Person needs somebody, and he's like, literally, you would be a godsend because I need somebody to be with the A group in the number one spot because this happened, and I need someone that can come through and clutch. Man, it's a lot of pressure, but can you? And I'm thinking between the class and the fact that I know that I can shoot you a text and be like, bro, I got a question.
Yep.
And I don't have to wait hours, days. It's like, oh, hey, man, sorry to get right back to you, but what's up?
Mm-hmm.
I was confident. I mean, how do you put a price on that?
That's what I'm trying to tell these cats, man. Like real quick, man, like success leaves clues, and the beauty of, for me, coming up in this game, like kind of solo and like I had good mentors and stuff at different times and different locations, and not, I've gone to some of the Ivy League schools, but what I learned is like how to build this thing from nothing, right? So I built my career from the door bouncing in Cali. Then I went down to Florida and repeated the same formula and did it again from bouncing in Cali, in Florida. So I started to just realize there's a legit pattern. Like there are certain things you can do. And then I've seen how the world's changed and it's so much easier now. So like I'm sitting here and I got this formula, right? And I'm like looking at these dudes, and I'm like, literally, if you do what I do, if you can see what I see, you're going to have what I have. I just got to get you to take a leap. And the thing is, what I find so special about the ones who win is it comes down to emotional intelligence, man. For every one of those people who saw that presentation and didn't push the little red button because they were like, well, like money or, well, like whatever it is that they let get in the way. I got people going into debt for the next quarter of their life to get a college degree to try to make under 6 figures if they can even get a job. And I'm like, yo, I'm like, just spend a couple G's on yourself,
on yourself
and get the cheat code. And I'm telling you, like, this is your training day, Officer Hoyt. Like just, and that's why I put the info together like that, because I would get dudes on details and literally they would hop in the chase with me and I'd be like, yo, straight up, this is how you really do this. Like, I know what you learned at the academy. Cool. But this is where you really learn how to do this stuff. Like, and then because I'm not that smart really. Like I'm smart in a certain way. Like I have a fluid intelligence, but I don't have much of a like book knowledge. I have a master's degree and all that, but like, I always would be figuring out all these little shortcuts and all these little cheat codes and how to do an advance this way and how to like. And so I was like, this is just going to be my little black book of just all the tricks and tips that I know. When I show up on the detail, cats are like, yo, how'd you do that? Like, that's solid game. I'm going to do that from now on. And I'm like, say words, son. And I put it all in there. So the one, you did the magic trick, which was, and it ain't because I'm so great. It's just because by the grace of God, I've just been doing this for 15 years, bro. Like I am kind of the older dude in this game, when it comes to my patrons, it's like, I know how this thing works. Just do what I'm telling you to do. And the guys that do that are the guys that are in this position inside of a year, like what Mo was 3 months, from the time he purchased the course to the time he's running multiple principals at a large venue like Comic-Con, and I'm like, and he's just sitting there like, I just did exactly what you told me. And I'm like, that is literally, and you can add what's, add a little bit of your own vibe, add your stuff, but the formula is the same. So then we get on a call, one of our weekly, bi-monthly calls, and the dude's on the call and they're like, dude, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, I'm like, no. This was always the plan.
The plan.
Proper planning meets opportunity, baby. And I put you in the position, and I know the current in the game right now is heavy. Like opportunities are like moving like this. The current, there's opportunities just going like this. The industry's blowing up. There's the fear and greed index is high right now. People are like, I need protection. Corporations are like, I need protection. If you can position yourself with your net in the water, you're going to catch something. And if you're the right person as well, you're going to catch something, So, man, it's an honor to see that you were like, you did those things. And you always I hear the same thing with the guys that are winning. They're like, I just did exactly what you told me to do. And I put myself in the position and I'm like, boom, this is the game, man.
Well, literally, when I say literally, when you said fiber, I went to fiber.
Yep.
But I want you to understand, I have connections with people that have master's degrees in English and I'm like, no, he said fiber. Like literally, I didn't want to change one thing, the same pack. I mean, everything down again, little nuances to make it me.
Right.
But you said do this. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling everybody, when I showed up on my detail, the guys that were there for a long time, nobody knew that I was new. Nobody knew that I was new. I was, and I don't say this out of arrogance. I say this because I was prepared. The other guys who were senior were going, hey man, what is that? What do you got? What do you?
Yep.
But I don't take credit. I'm like, you put me up on game. So I'm not going to take credit for it, but I did what you said.
Yeah, man.
So it works. And what I want to tell people, man, is, I don't know how long you're going to be able to do what you're able to do. There's going to be a point when we're not going to be able to go, boop, 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 boop. Hey, Byron, which is the goal, which it should be the goal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It should be the goal because it should get bigger because, hitch your wagon to a star. That's the goal, man. You're doing it. We're going to hitch our wagon. We all blow up. We blow you up. We all blow up.
Yep.
But everybody's got to understand, I don't know how you're going to be able to keep doing that if I'll say this out of arrogance. If 10 of me sign up and you've got 10 cats going.
Yeah, man. Well, the thing is that is all, that's all in the strategy, because I am big on strategy. So I see the move. I know exactly how I'm picking this plane up. Yeah. In a few years, dudes might be hitting up some of the guys on my staff, dudes might be having those bi-monthly calls with some of the guys on my staff who I know will make sure and lead them in the right way. You know what I mean? And I'll pop in once or twice a month and make sure everybody's good and boom, boom, boom. So right now it's like, timing is in business what location is in real estate. So like we're still in the ground floor, I still have pieces I'm adding to the course. We're still, so it's really, really relational. And one of the big things I love about the course that I want to always protect is I want to make sure that every patron of the course always knows that they have access to the league. Because this is a brotherhood, I'm literally here to do everything I can to make you guys as successful as possible. Because what does that do? That positions league members in the industry in positions of power, which means league members can get in the industry because we know how each other works. We know the work ethic. We know the code of conduct, because that's a big one. Like you'll see it out there in the industry if you haven't already, how cutthroat it can be, guys trying to outshine each other, how civil wars start happening. But when you have a few league members that know the social dynamics, know how to balance, how to take care of the royal court, know how to protect the team, and know how to do how to give credit instead of take credit and all these different things that we teach to create a situation of cooperation over competition, which means we all make money longer and everybody's happy longer. When you got teams roll like that, I mean, that's the stuff. And then
exactly.
in a few years, we're in positions of power. The network, right? I'm spending thousands of dollars a month marketing this program to make sure that I'm getting quality people into our course. People are seeing the course. I'm building your network. You know what I'm saying? I'm building our network. I'm building your asset. You know, so it's dangerous, man. And it's well thought out. That's the one I can definitely say, man.
And you know what I'm waiting on, though?
Huh.
I'm waiting on when you offer how to do what you did on that next level.
The immersion course or business stuff?
Where you are right now.
And
if you haven't, I'm sure it's back there and your wheels are turning. But because I know you have your life coaching that you offer for patrons, but I'm saying, think about that. So you really do what I do.
Yeah, I mean, geez, it's. You mean like becoming, like building your social media, like your actual brand, building really brand. You know, I might put something. I was thinking about the master's class. I dropped another module on social dynamics, an elevated module on social dynamics, but I might think about doing something on branding, man, because it's an interesting. Actually, it's worth having a little bit of conversation. In one of our previous meetups, someone was asking me like, yo, do I put these kind of pictures on my profile? Do I do this? You know, guns, no guns, all this stuff. And I was giving him advice. And like, while I was giving him advice, I was kind of like, well, geez, man, like I've built my thing a little bit different, you know, like I'm in a little bit of a different situation than this guy. So I need to give him advice I think that's appropriate for him. But I know if he looks at my profile, he's going to see all kinds of stuff, you know? So I was kind of like, what's that about? And there is the approach that I've taken to building this brand has been, I mean, I have been aggressive. So that would be like a Patreon, me and one person, you know, work on it. Because what I don't want to see is people try to do what I've done and mess it up.
Right.
And then I become someone who's negatively influenced a lot of people, you know? So it's like handing somebody dynamite kind of. You know what I mean? Like it's you know, I have to like really make sure that package is put together really aggressively. But there are formulas, man. And I hammer on those aggressively, man. That's a good thought though. It's in there for sure. No, man, we're going places. So you know, you got in the course, the opportunity came, you're in the right position, you did the work, you know, and I think that's the main thing I want people to understand. You guys can do this.
Yes.
And the blueprint is there. And this is just off of training day. This isn't stacking the hard skills intensive with, you know, 5 different certifications that you walk away with in all the different disciplines, you know. This is just this is how I want to build a career in executive protection. I want to learn how to do it and then get it done.
Right.
What would you say is probably the one well, and you also had a little bit of an edge because you're a Jedi. I always like to call social dynamics guys Jedis because that's the voodoo right there, you know? What would you say was the module that has come in handy, or do you have any examples of some of the stuff that you used out in the field that was like, yo, this was money?
Well, man, I used the FBO because I did that, you know, flew private and never been, no clue. But again, was confident because I was literally on my phone and was like, I got it. It was like a script. And I was like, I got this.
Yep.
Tour manager was there and I hopped out, was like, boom, you know, whatever. all the security managers, all the hotels from the 4 seasons to whatever, I was confident. I watched your thing.
Yeah.
You know, how to approach them. So the FBO one, man, the social dynamics, though. I mean, that's
hard, man. It's hard skills may save lives, but soft skills get you paid and keep you in this stinking
but
game.
You don't. I'm telling you, you don't. I was gone all summer and immersed in that tour life. And what made me successful were the soft skills, remembering how to interact with people, recognizing who the influencers were, the world court, who the friends were. It's the boring stuff, quote,
It's the most
that's what you need.
Yep.
That's the stuff.
And you're literally here like pulling strings, and the other dudes, are focused on like being tough and like all these like basic superficial things. But when you understand the social dynamics, you're subversively moving pieces around on the board. And you're everywhere. Everyone's like talking about you, like you're everywhere, and they don't even know how exactly you just did that. They're just like looking at you like, who's this new dude? And you're cool with them too,
That's it.
And that's the game, man.
You're a step below. These are not the droids you're looking for. Literally. You're a step below that.
I love it.
Quoted you verbatim. Hey man, I know for you, this is a walk in the park. You do this every day. I just need you to help me make me look like a rock star.
Yep.
It's a big deal to them. I know. Oh yeah, we got you. I mean, literally. And but being genuine though. Being genuine.
That's the trick.
Remembering people's names. Hey, thank you very much. Cards. I mean, I had people tell me, your team, best team you've ever had come through. You guys are polite. You guys are amazing. Thank you, Mr. Levy. I'm like, no, man, you guys were great. My clients are happy. No, you guys made it so easy for us. I'm like, you can't beat that. I mean, that's what you want. I mean, that's, customer service right there. It's cool.
100%, man. And it's basically like, I've been there and I know what's going to happen. So like when I'm teaching dudes and they're sitting there and they're like, bro, it went down exactly how you said. It was like, because I'm in real life doing this Monday through Friday. And I'm literally like, and now you're going to say this. And then I'm going to say this. And then, then my students hit me back like, yo, bro, this is going down. And I'm like, I know, bro, you got this, man. And the main thing I wanted to do with this course too, real quick too, was I wanted you mentioned confidence a few times. And like we take a lot of courses and I went to some big deal courses and I walked away and I was like, yo, these cats are not ready for the game and they don't know that they're not ready for the game. Like I that death by PowerPoint, like for a whole week and then like maybe doing one EP detail at the end of the thing. I was like, and then it was like just like a participation trophy kind of thing. And I was like, I don't know if I could trust any of these guys on a detail, man. So that I wanted this to be like, this is no school stuff. This is what I've learned in 60 plus countries around the world with every client demographic that the industry has to offer. This is the real bullets, beans, and band-aids of what we do. What do you think was your so what was it like, man, getting on your first detail, man? Give us the blow by blow, like being a new dude in the game, like, because I know it's a little nerve-wracking a little bit, because it's like to me, I say it's like dating. Like to this day, I pull up on a new client. I'm gonna have a little bit of feels. I'm like, all right, cool. This is what I do. Go over my plan, make sure I got it in my head. Boom, 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 boom. All right, let's take them for a ride, So what was it like for you, man? Because you started at a high level.
Literally, I mean,
top of that client demographic.
Yeah, there was no, you gave me some great advice and it made it really easy. You said, be a gentleman and you'll be fine.
100%.
You said easier, just be a gentleman. And I remembered that.
Yeah.
And that allowed me to maneuver into situations where I could learn the routine, because it was just being a gentleman. Stick my hand out for a bag. I didn't grab it and if they ignored it, cool, my hand was there.
Yep.
And then it became,
boom.
Man, it was surreal, man. I
was just about to say, was it surreal? Was it unreal, bro?
It was surreal. Like, you're just there and because you're in that work mode. Yep. You're in a work mode and you're in protector mode, but then your client's here. But then you're like,
is this really the
thing? Dude. Real tough.
Right. Yep. Like, wow.
You're like
the guy.
Wow. And then for me, there were like levels. That was like the first first couple of weeks, I was just kind of like, but then when I got my groove and I was like, I could feel it.
Man, yeah, man. And then
dude, it was like,
clack, clack, clack.
Wow.
Because there's,
I mean, how do you put it? How do you put it into words, right?
I know, right?
I think I even said that to you when I talked to you. Sorry.
Yeah, man. No, there's a moment when you go from like, okay, like it feels like you're flying a fighter jet, like you're moving fast and and then like you have like this moment of awareness where you're like looking around and you're like backstage, like everything settles for a second. Like you got the client where they're supposed to be, blah, 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 blah. They're in pocket, you're watching, you're like behind the curtain. And then there's this moment where you're like, hold up. And you look around like, yo, this is really going down right now. This is really going. And you know, like, I'm the dude. Like, I'm not pretending. Like, I'm ready. I got things lined up. I got all my, all my auxiliary teammates where they're supposed to be. Like, anything that happens, playing. I got my angles. I'm sitting tight. And then you're just sitting there like, but I'm doing it. You know? And then you do that a couple times, especially on the road, because you're hitting these venues, you're getting in and out, and you're doing the thing multiple times, and then you start getting in a groove. And it's like that second deployment. It's like you're walking with confidence now, you know. And it's like your power. You're in your power, and that's when it's a beautiful thing, man. It's like it's poetic at that point, you know. And it's like, man, I'm doing this.
It is, man,
dude. No,
and it's all people, That's what's beautiful. It's people. It's watching, and you're like, wow, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, how good can I work with this person? How good can I work with that person? How good can I create a win-win here so they're excited and I'm excited about what we're going to get done? And then it's like, yo, I'm watching these people and like this, but you're looking for all the different anomalies in the crowd. You know what I mean? And you get to exercise all your protector skills, you know, and then things transition over from your prior job, you know, that you can in here and there, you know, it's beautiful, man. It's a nice flow. Did you have any friction integrating with other agents that were already there?
Not at all. Dude, I was so fortunate. My advanced guy,
good.
I tease him, old guy, he's in his 60s, but, you know, doing it a long time, he literally made me look like a rock star. Like, I thanked him. He made my job so easy. His advances were perfect, clear. When I got there, literally arrows on the ground. I mean, I knew where my hard rooms were, dressing rooms, bathrooms. He made my job so easy. He worked his tail off. So I don't know what reality's like, because I don't think I can expect that every time. So I hope I can, but we'll see what happens. You know, next time I go out with whoever. But he was great. Phenomenal guy. So it made it so easy for me.
Outstanding. What would you say? Let's see here. What do you think is your favorite part of doing this work?
You know, what I found interesting is watching the artist, watching one particular artist, like watch them go from the bus to stage and seeing that switch
when they get into performance mode.
And they go into performance mode, and you can, and I was like, wow. Because you recognize it and you see it. To me, that was really interesting, because you could literally see, because you're right next to that person, and you could see the change. And then so that was amazing to be able to be that close to someone at that level and be able to really see. To me, that was cool. That was really exciting to see that.
And then to protect that too, you know, like with some of my guys that I've worked with, man, and a lot of these artists, they're so good what they do. Like, I remember we're on a flight in, and the world is like coming apart in this dude's life. And I'm just sitting there like, you know, like, I can't protect him from any of this. This is all kinds of stuff, family stuff, you know, like financial, just he's getting attacked from all these angles. And then the other dude that's with him is like, yo, you're going to be good for this performance or whatever we got to do. And then he looked over at it and he's like, watch me. He's like, watch me. He's like, watch me get in there and turn this thing on. And man, I watched him, and we land. And by the time he got off the jet, boom, laser focus, gets up on the stage, boom. And I'm just like, man, they can switch it on. now translates, like, because there's definitely a moment where when I'm doing my job where I do the same exact thing. Like and this is another little something for the dudes in the game. Like I try to do this job like a duck, man. Like when you're around me, even when I'm on, like I'm not serious, like I have that personality where I'm like relaxed, everything's cool. We're dealing, okay, cool. Godzilla's coming down the street, solid. Set up a blocking position here. You're going ahead and flank them from that side. Like I'm chill as much as possible. Okay, cool. We need to get EMS over there. Cool. Dispatch them, go hold the green room. I'll move the client, like I try to stay in that, but there's a moment where I switch into like, boom, it's time to work. And my hair stand up a little bit for a second. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I feel like I honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, I feel like a cloak, like protection kind of comes over me and I'm just in that zone, man. You're just in the cockpit doing what we do. And usually about the time I hear the crowd, that's when it's just like, this is what I was created for, man. Yeah. That's about when I'm just like, here we are, doing what we do, man, protecting people. I love it.
Yeah. It's an amazing feeling. And then when you're in your element and you're really aware, and there's so much to it. It's like a target-rich environment, if you will. There's so much, and you're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and you got to be seeing through the matrix the whole entire time. And yeah, man, no, I love that stuff. And then the pitfall that a lot of guys run into, and this is the thing with our course, right? So we're doing our careers together. So, I get some guys that are like, they get in, they blow up, and they're like, I love this. Then we've got a couple guys that get in, they blow up, and they're like, I don't know if this is for me, man. You know what I mean? Being on the road, family, And I'm like, cool. Well, I did my job. I got you in. You know what I mean? And I'll help you do whatever it is you want to do in your life, as much as I can, because we're connected, But you see probably now how if you're not grounded and properly, if you don't have a healthy ego, dudes can fall in love with that. And they can feel like they are part of like they forget their place. Yeah, I mean, that's the next pitfall,
Sure.
Dudes get so I'm sure you can start to see how that whole thing unfolds.
Yeah, it can be very dangerous. If you're not grounded, sure you can.
Yeah, man.
I was in Canada. And it was just a really good day. I think it was like my first real day off where I had like literally nothing to do. So I went out and got like a shave, had some good dim sum, and I was walking down, got my phone out.
Yeah.
And I was getting ready to record something. And I started to say something, but it just came out, just sounded real arrogant. So I stopped and I just said, always be thankful. Always be grateful, always be humble. Because I'm like, here I am walking the streets of, Toronto.
Yep. Some new AO.
Like it just, the financial part, the rooms you stay in, the light. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm so grateful. I'm like, yeah, thank you.
That's beautiful, man. I think one of the keys too, for the listeners, I go to work every single day like it could be my last day. I'm not in the will. I'm providing a service. I am helping these people. They want a new service provider. These people get tired of Lamborghinis, man. You know what I mean? Like these people, you know what I mean? So, you can't ever forget that, like, we exist in a cloud of grace. The accountant could take a hard right, and all of a sudden they're not paying for you anymore. Right. So you got to be in that moment and enjoying you have a job. Thank God for that. You know what I'm saying? You're able to be the man. Thank God for it. Enjoy it while it lasts. Do the best you can, because it can be feast or famine, Right. And you got to know how to move in this industry too. That's the other thing. Continually marketing, continually selling security, continually finding new relationships. And you'll find that great white whale. You'll find that home,
right.
As long as you're doing good work and maintaining that street cred, that's the game. Yeah, man.
Yeah, well, I got to be landed for an extended period of time so I can attend one of your hard skills. I'm gone.
Yeah, man. I'm proud of you, man. No, that's awesome. Do you have any advice for listeners for guys that maybe are new to the game or dudes that are looking at the course that are like, I don't know. What stands out?
It's that old adage, man. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself. Yeah. Right? Anything worth having is going to have a cost to it. Mm-hmm. You interview people like me, regular people, to prove to these guys out here that, hey, man, this isn't like a scheme. We're not like your buddies that, hey, man, I got this idea. We all have different backgrounds.
Yep.
And did I have a little bit of an advantage because I was a cop? Yeah, I say a little one. But the only reason was because I chose to go down a path that most guys didn't, which was the soft skill, right? That's right. So I'm an anomaly. Right. But otherwise, everything somebody needs to be successful, you literally teach them.
Yeah.
So if they're thinking about it, it's like Yoda said, right? Don't think, do. 100%. I mean, it legit works. Mm-hmm. I mean, it works. The industry is right. Unfortunately, we're in a world, you see the way it is right now. People are scared. And you can do really well for your family. Literally, you can do really well for your family.
Yeah.
But I will say this. Mm-hmm. If it's not in your DNA, don't get in it.
Yeah, that's
because like my man here says, you got to be as advertised at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. The glitz and the glamour and all that, at the end of the day, you're getting paid to be able to provide a specific service, and you better be able to. And I take that part seriously.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
No, 100%, man. I agree with that 100%, man. And, that for people to have access to such an amazing industry that compensates so well, if you can, and that the barrier for entry is so low, you don't have to go to school for umpteen years and get into $250,000 worth of debt or whatever it is,
right.
To maybe get a job, to be able to do that, even as a civilian. I think that's huge. And that's huge. And for guys that are working other jobs and dying inside because they're really protectors, to have a pipeline to do that, that's huge. And but at the end of the day, man, there are also still a lot of dudes out there that have a job that are not ready to be protectors, that aren't true protectors, because this whole game it's more than just a job, man. It is a life. It's what you do when you're not at work that's going to make you be able to perform when you're not at work. And we can't make you do it, So, and I'm going to keep rolling out different programs that are going to help guys do it. I've got a few more things that are coming out that are going to basically help guys maintain what it is that they should be maintaining as they're in this game. And I can't tell my secrets because dudes be copying me in the industry all the time. I got to be careful. And then they be acting like it's their idea. God bless them. God bless them,
Yeah. That's the best form of flattery, right?
It really is, man. It really is, but I do these interviews with you guys because you guys are killing it, man. And I'm proud of you guys. And I know, just a few contacts I had with you. I mean, I told you were going to kill this game. What was it, the first time you got on our show?
You did. You literally did.
Bro. I was like, this dude's going to kill it. This is for sure. He's for sure going to kill it. I'm glad you're here because this is going to be a success story. How long did it take you? This was inside a year. I mean, this thing was...
Dude, it was months. I think I finished January or February. I'd have to look. Mm-hmm. And I was on a plane in June.
Yeah, 100%. And it's not weird.
Yeah. Plane in June.
Yeah, man. So, and I don't want to make my podcast all about these things, but I got to let people know these things this is what we're doing out here, So yeah, man, Vince, I'm proud of you, bro. I'm glad we're connected. You better believe I'm going to call you if I get an excuse. Next time I get a detail, we're doing something crazy, I'm going to hit you up.
Hey, look, you have a trump card. You call and you give me this much notice, I'll change the schedule. And I told you, I will fly out anytime because I want to break bread with you. So I know you're busy. You got a full plate, but when you have a moment, you let me know it's daylight and I'm coming out. I want to break bread.
Let's do it, man.
All right.
It's an honor to have you as part of the brotherhood, man. And I think we got there's a lot of good nuggets in this episode. And yeah, man, I'm glad we're connected. I'm looking forward to everything. I can't wait to train with you too, man. You got to get down.
Yes.
Where you're not working so much. Are you planning on coming to the EP forum or any of that stuff? Or are you going to
No, I'm leaving in a week.
You know, that's the only problem is, man, y'all get in the game and then I never see you anymore on any of the Zoom there, you know. So anyways, y'all, if you're listening to this episode and you're like, okay, I want to do this thing, epspecialist.com, you get there, get the options. The hybrid course is going to give you the hard skills intensive. You're going to walk away with 5 or 6 different certifications. You're going to get a full shooting package. That's daylight, nighttime. That's attack on principle. That's CQB. That's all the shooting package, different components. You're going to get TCCC, TECC, first aid, and AED. That's you will outperform everyone else with their resume in medical and shooting, and then you will get driving courses. So we do 2 levels. Most of what's out there in the industry right now, is very important. Vehicle dynamics is extremely important, but we also have contact driving available. So we're going to get your vehicle dynamics and then contact driving, which is actually when you make contact with a vehicle, learning how to pit, learning how to counter pit, learning how to ram a barricade, learning all of these different more high threat protection strategies in a vehicle. So you will have 2, not 1, but 2 driving certificates. So you're going to walk out of that course loaded up. Your resume will outperform 90% of the agents in this industry. And then you'll also get access to training days. So the hybrid course, you get the online stuff, and that's what Vince used to break into the industry in a few months. And that's what all the other guys, Mo and Alex and Sam and all those other interviews that you can see on my podcast, they use to break into the industry standalone. And that's like $1,000. Okay. Now the hybrid course, the full package, that's more like $6,000. Right. But you drop 6 G's, you make payments on that. Probably by the time you get done, if you're moving like a lot of these guys, you'll be in the industry if you are doing the steps in the course and you're the right person who has what it takes. So, you know, take the leap. You know, the opportunities are there. And I've literally generated these things from a place of being in the game and knowing exactly what is needed with the most ROI in mind. You know, and it's love, man. It's a brotherhood. Me and these guys, like Vince be shooting me text messages. You know, I pop in and you'll never do your career alone. I will be here to coach and support you twice a month on a Zoom call. That's real, you know, and help you through any sticking points. So there's so much support there. You know, it's a brotherhood, man. We're gonna raise the gold standard in this industry. It's an
real
honor.
Talk.
Yeah, man.
Real talk.
Awesome, brother. Well,
all right.
Marks, anything else for him before we shut this down?
No, that's it, man. Don't just pull the trigger. Do it. Just do it. Do it. 100%. Best thing you ever did. But if you're going to do it, do the work. Do the work. Do the work.
100%. That's the cheat code. Do the work.
Do the work.
Solid, brother. We got to catch up, man. I got to get down to Tejas and get around you and yours or come up to Cali, but it's coming.
That'll work. Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Take care, bro.
Oh, yeah, you too. Boom.
This is my MCK. There are many like it, but this one is mine. If you've got a firearm sitting around, a pistol that you are not doing anything with, get an MCK. They make them for every single model. If you want a micro conversion kit that will turn your handgun into a force multiplier, get one, man. They are ultra affordable. CAA, MCK, micro conversion kits are changing the game, y'all. So if you don't have one, you need to get one. Get one. Your women, children, people that are less physically potent will be able to fire your firearm to farther distances with more accuracy. You will be able to fire your firearm to farther distances with more accuracy. I want to get one of these into the hands of 100,000 more protectors this year, because ultimately we are only as good as the nation is only as good as its protection. Your home is only as safe and as good as your ability to protect it. MCK, go get one, drop your handgun in, take it to the next level. Out.
Boom.
Yo, if you're a private security professional wanting to take your game to the next level, go to executiveprotectiontrainingday.com to check out my personal success package for private security professionals. Check it out, executiveprotectiontrainingday.com. And remember, y'all, hard skills do save lives, but soft skills get you paid. Boom. Boom. And to support this podcast, go to executiveprotectionlifestyle.com and contribute to our Patreon account. That Patreon account is what helps me make this podcast possible, contributing to this brand, what we're doing here, making it so that I can bring better guests on, making it so that we can plan more events and just expand the contribution to the private security industry, and also to making America a safer place. Do whatever you can, contribute whatever you can, because it makes all of these things possible. Thanks for those contributions. Yo, and before we go, I got a shout out to the sponsors, starting out with Primary Weapon Systems, PWS. They truly are the evolution of the rifle. Use Byron for 10% off. Grayman & Company, the most comfortable tactical suits in the game. Use Byron for 10% off with them. Until the next podcast, this is Byron Rodgers, protector by nature and by trade. Out.